Today on the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast, we are discussing The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Season 1, Episode 1, New World Order.
Welcome to the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast. My name is Matthew Carroll.
And I am Jeff Randall.
And we have in our producer chair, J. Scotty St. Clair. How you doing, J. Scotty?
Doing fantastic. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me, guys. How are you guys doing?
Thanks for being here. It's exciting. All right.
Thanks for coming out.
We are very, very excited to talk about Falcon Winter Soldier. Man, it's just I can't believe it's here, right, guys?
Man, last week was awful. There, a Friday came without content, and I started getting like PTSD flashbacks of the year and a half without anything. I'm like, no, I can't go back.
Just having straight up withdrawals after 8 weeks of constant content. Yeah.
And then we get this show, and then the first thing they do is lead us into a badass sequence of just like epic proportions.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's just absolutely expert level Marvel. Like, I can't even imagine where this is going to go. Like, if it started this huge, and it's the slow burn that it's taking with introducing the characters and stuff. Like, I am just so excited. Really, really wonderful stuff.
Yeah, like Jay Scotty and I were talking while you were grabbing water before the cast. It's kind of crazy that like this feels like a movie. Like we're watching a movie, and like the amount of like we talked about it. You and I, Matt, like, you know, however long ago when we first discovered like what their budget was per thing, like for the whole series. Like it's insane. Looks like it. Like it really looks does. Like they put all that money into it.
I'm wondering if every episode will be this high per production level, or if this was like we're going to start it out so big that you can't say this is not high production value, and then it's going to be a lot more like smaller stories. Because the rest of the episode was pretty small. You know, it was pretty contained. But man, that beginning and the whole thing was wonderful. Anyway, I guess we'll get into it. Anything you want to say about the episode before we get started, Jay Scotty, or before you head into your feedback cave?
Well, yeah, sounds good. I mean, I'll just say I'm over here on the West Coast, so it's a little bit earlier for me. But I was so excited that I was up at like 4:45 without any issues, wide awake, and they really did just like start off with such a bang. I will just say for my money, the best Falcon action sequence we've seen, bar none. So it really is that cinematic quality, and really excited to see where they go from here, and really excited to get your guys' thoughts.
Absolutely. We excited about the show, not excited about it to get my thoughts.
You can be excited about that. It's okay.
But mentioning that scene, the thing that blew me away that we don't get much out of Marvel content really was the fact that like he seemed really vulnerable. By making Sam Wilson not a super soldier, man, like I felt danger for him the entire time. Every time he got hit by something or flipped or whatever, like almost hit something, I was like, oh, if he hits that, he's dead. Like he is just a human being up there.
Oh yeah,
that was a big difference from anything we've seen really from Marvel ever.
Yeah, and like in that opening sequence with, you know, guns going or guns firing, like there's real consequences there. Like if he like Cap can probably take a bullet and keep ticking, but like that's gonna put Sam down for a little bit probably.
Right, absolutely. All right, well, Jay Scotty, we're gonna send you to your feedback cave, and we'll be back. We'll bring you back for the end of the show here.
Sounds good. I'll be on standby.
Sweet.
I will have my mission report.
Love it.
Mission report 3/19/2021.
Exactly.
Okay, man, let's just get into this. Let's dig into this episode. What can I even say? It's just like it's a freaking movie, and I can't believe it's not a movie. I can't believe this isn't the Falcon and Winter Soldier movie following up Endgame, you know?
Like, I'm upset that it's only 50 minutes of the episode. Like, I need so much more of this right now in my eyeballs. Give it to me, Marvel. I know you have it. Give it to me.
Yeah, you're just sitting on the shelf. You got five more.
You're not even using it.
I can't. I mean, like I said, total movie quality, and we've got 5 more of them coming. And it was 50 minutes. That's the other thing. We're starting a little later than we like to on Fridays. But part of that is like the episode was so much longer than we're used to. We've been doing these WandaVision 35-minute episodes. This was 50 minutes.
Yeah, and that's another thing that I guess we need to mention is like the difference in tone and the difference in like content. Like there's no difference in quality. The production quality on WandaVision was top shelf, but like this is a very different show compared to WandaVision. Like WandaVision threw you into a mystery right out of the gate, and you're wondering what the hell is going on here. They gave you 2 episodes in the first week, but it was still just like we're looking around with our hands up, like I don't know what the hell's going on in the first 2 episodes. And this one is like this is the Falcon and the Winter Soldier immediately. Like this is almost like their epilogue after the events of Endgame.
Right.
Like we kind of got a Spider-Man one and like following his events afterward with Far From Home. But then this one was basically that for these guys.
It also feels very much like Winter Soldier 2.
Yeah.
Like from the very beginning, I believe they were using actual Winter Soldier music when he's jumping out of that plane, like, or at least very similar music. And when the title credits for Falcon Winter Soldier came up, they looked like spy thriller credits.
They did.
It looked like classic 70s spy thriller stuff. And like, that's exactly the vibe I got this entire time.
Yeah. I mean, look at that logo. That logo is incredible and fits the genre perfectly. Like the fact that Marvel can do this, where they create a show where like it starts off being super weird and it's a sitcom, but it's kind of creepy and kind of has horror vibe. And then it goes into like a different thing every episode and, takes you through the ages of sitcom and then eventually becomes this like magical witchy tale. And then like immediately 2 weeks later, drop a show that is like absolutely a follow up to, Civil War and the Winter Soldier. And, it feels like that continuation of the spy thriller genre. Like they were able to just flip it on its head, and all of this is coming from the same studio. It's crazy that they've got this going for them. And then like Loki's going to be a crime drama. Like sign me up. I was already signed up. We're doing the podcast. We've been doing the podcast for like 6.5 years, whatever. But sign me up again. I want to do another podcast about the same content.
Yeah, let's just start MCU Cast 2.0, where we just are covering the same thing every week. Just, I don't know.
Again.
We'll call it Tim and the Other Guy, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes. It's perfect.
The other thing that I really, really like, I've always loved Sam Wilson, and that's why I was excited that they decided to pass the shield to him in Endgame, because I've thought for a long time that Sam was the better choice. But I loved Bucky in this, like more than I've ever loved Bucky before. They actually did the work of building a character that I really care about.
Oh, yeah. And he got more lines in this than he has had in like a long ass time.
I'm not sure he's ever had this many lines in all of the media, because he's the quiet, stoic, like warrior type. And in this, he's like trying to return to a normal life. That scene where the therapist asked him, he talked about how he'd been at war for 90 years, and like, well, you've been at war for 90 years. What do you want now that you're now? And he said, I want peace. And she's like, bullshit.
That is utter bullshit. That was hilarious.
It's hilarious. And then he responds, you're a horrible therapist.
Yeah, you're a terrible shrink. I love his commentary about her. Like his little quips where he's just like, that's passive aggressive. Like It felt like those stupid little like aside quips that I do through the show, but like actually funny.
Right.
And I love everything about Bucky and watching him try to integrate into society. The old man asking for a date on his behalf, and he's just like, dude, why would you do that? I'm sorry for him. Like, it was just so great. It's
like the fact that he's friends with the old man, Yori, I believe his name was.
Yori, yep.
I loved it so much, and like the depth of it. It had so many levels of depth, because he meets the guy and you're like, oh, They think it's cute. All his friends around him are like, oh, it's neat that you're friends with this old man. But no, it's just like a guy that he'd get along with because he has more in common with a guy who's that old, who's in his 90s. And then you start to peel the layers back and you find out that he is also someone that is the father of someone that he killed. Like, that's so freaking heartbreaking. And the fact that he can't lose that friendship. It's like the only friendship he has, it feels like. It's like one of his only friends, and he can't lose it. So he like is refusing to make that amends that he needs to make. And I am so sad that at some point in this series, we're going to have that scene where he finally admits it. And it's going to be awful. It's going to be horrible.
It's already breaking my heart.
Me too. I don't want it to happen, but I know that's where we're going dramatically. And like, it's just so good. It's really great relationship building on that side. I actually really liked the Winter Soldier stuff. Like, I loved that first scene of Falcon in the fight, and I enjoyed his sister was interesting, but it's a little less. I don't know. It's a little less evocative to me for some reason. I liked it. I guess like the money problems storyline, which is very important, and like especially the sort of as she said, I guess the racial component related to them not being able to get a loan, and how their father was a legend, but this guy doesn't even know them because it's like their community is different. Like, all of that is super interesting, but like on a personal level, like that story of Buck being out of time. I mean, it's Cap again, it's that very Cap-like storyline of man out of time.
It's Cap again, but it's the other side of the coin where like he's out of time, but he's skipped through time. Right. While also being completely not in control of himself.
Yeah. And so a villain, and having to the making amends thing is genius. I love it.
Yes. Oh my God. And like him having nightmares of his time as the Winter Soldier is like, it's breaking my heart for him, but it's also like so genius storytelling. Yeah. And he was like, I had a bit of calm in Wakanda. And then like now when he's not there, he's having nightmares and he's sleeping on the floor, waking up to a soccer game on TV. Like, it's so good. And like that sequence, Matt, that sequence when he was the Winter Soldier and he like punched through the wall and ripped the guy through it, and then like drop kicked the other guy through the hole and like killed everybody right there. It was so badass. Like,
so badass.
It was so badass.
And of course they didn't prepare us for that with like, this is going to be a dream sequence. So I'm sitting there going like, okay, what's happening?
Yeah, like, did he revert? Did he go back? Who read the words?
Yeah, exactly. I kept expecting him to like pull the thing off and be like, oh no, I'm just joking or something. Like I was just pretending to be the Winter Soldier to stop some mob bosses or something. And then, so I did not expect him to pull the trigger on that last guy. Like I thought he was going to walk up to the guy and be like, run or something, like whatever. And then he shot him and it was tragic and like awful. Like I felt really bad for him waking up from that memory. It was awful.
Yeah, man. When Yori said, "My son died and I don't know how it happened," the police said, "Wrong place, wrong time." It immediately clicked in my brain, and I was like, "Oh no!" Like I said out loud on the couch with my wife. I went, "Oh no!"
I did not get it until we see the picture in Yori's apartment. That was when I was like, man. Oh gosh, I get it now. Because I was like, the way he was reacting to the talk about his son, I was like, what, why is he reacting that way? And it had me thinking like, did Winter Soldier have a son? Because we know he had like a girlfriend that before he went off to war. Like I was like, maybe he had a son that he's found out about and who has died since, because it's been 106 years, and that like he's sad that he missed his son's life or something. Like I was like, where are they going with this? And then it turns out, that's it. Yeah, it's crazy.
See, I was thinking that Yori might be like an old friend from the war days. Like that was the first thought I had, was like, it's old friend that
he'd have to be pretty young. I don't know. He'd have to be, because he's 106, which means yeah, it would be weird. It would be weird for him to have actual friends from that time, unless they were very young. Because how old was he when he fell? Like 30,
something like that.
So anyone alive would have had to have been like 20-ish. So it's possible he could have like platoon mates that are still alive, but it'd be rare.
Not just platoon mates, but like if it could have been like the paper boy on the corner that he was a mentor for
Sure.
back in the day.
That's true.
You know?
Could have been like, yeah. I was wondering if it would be family when I first saw, like, I didn't see that he was Japanese at first, and I saw like an old man, an old man walking next to him, and I thought we were about to
Hunched over old man.
Yeah, I thought we were about to get the old, like, this is my son storyline or something like that, or like, this is my grandson. This could have been his grandson for that matter, like someone who's like further down his lineage or something. But then he walked out of the shadows, and I was like, oh, okay, no, that's not it. So I was like constantly wondering what this connection was between the two of them. And what a tragic connection. And I just thought Bucky was super funny and like cool in this, in a way that I've always loved Sam, and I loved Sam in this, but I think like the thing that stood out most to me in this episode was how much I loved Bucky, because I don't think I've ever felt that way about Bucky.
Yeah, like we got some personality out of him.
Yeah, people were always saying, of course he's going to be the next Cap, because that's what that's what happens in the comics. And I was always like, maybe, but I don't like it. He's never really shown off that personality, but he was so funny. Stopping that little cat hand from swaying was really funny.
That had Tony in Iron Man 2 vibes when he stopped the motion thing on Pepper's desk.
Yes.
He's just like, oh God, stop this, please. And then when it kicked back up again, like when it slowly got back into the waving, and he was looking at it just like,
he's kind of eyeballing it. Yeah. Really good. And his I'm 106 years old, and then when she laughs, he laughs too, but then like stops laughing abruptly when she looks away. Like
he's got that awkward laugh of like, it wasn't actually a joke. Oh.
Yeah. It was a really.
I wonder though if he can, like, if Bucky can actually say anything to anybody, like. Cap got frozen in time because he was back, that happened to him, but like the same sort of thing kind of also happened to me, but in like a much worse way.
Yeah. Well,
I don't want to talk about it.
I think he can tell people probably. I mean, they can't stop him, but like.
Right.
He has
some words from coming out of his mouth.
But I don't think he wants to probably. Like if I were him, I would be like, there'd be a lot of, clearly he has a lot of shame built up around that his time as Winter Soldier, those dreams and stuff.
I love that his book of people to make amends with has two sides. There's one side for all the people that he helped put him in power that were not good people, like the Senator Atwood. But then on the other page, it was people that he's hurt and that he's got to try to like help their life again and do something good for them and try to enrich it, to maybe try to help feel not so bad for it. Like, help correct the guilt. It's just it's a big spread of guilt pages. And
I feel like I'm being super focused on Bucky because I'm very blown away by how much I liked him, because I wasn't that excited about him, and I liked him so much. And also I feel like, and maybe it's because they're doing a lot of work to try to rehab that character, that I feel like short shrifted throughout the course of the movies. Yeah. But like, as much as I'm excited for Falcon Winter Soldier and the storyline, the red-handed people and all that stuff.
And whom do you serve?
All the Saruman people. I'm very excited for it. But like, when she said, what do you want to do now? What do you want to do now? And then he's like making amends. I want that show so bad. I realize it's season 1 of The Arrow, but I want that so bad. Right? Like, not exactly.
No, it is. It is. Well, the left page is.
Right. Him waking up and thinking about the time he killed Yori's son is so sad. And then thinking about that, like every episode could be a horrible thing that he did. Like I'm imagining like the 70s version of the Hulk, right? Where he's like going from town to town. Was it 70s? I think. Anyway, he's going from town to town, like fixing.
It's almost like Kung Fu: The Legend Continues.
Yeah, I could totally see him making amends, and you like build the backstory of Hydra, and you could absolutely have different moments connect to different heroes throughout the time. Like he could encounter Peggy Carter and Hank Pym in whatever. Like I want more of this story, and I don't think we're going to get it in this show, because I think we're going to turn towards the bigger arc of what Falcon Winter Soldier need to come together to do. But like, I am suddenly way more interested in the Winter Soldier story than I've ever been before.
Yeah. It's been a hell of a ride for him, or rather, you imagine that it's been a hell of a ride for him, because we haven't seen that much of him And then we get this like instant, I don't want to say instant backstory, but like instant clarification of like, oh shit, he's got to deal with this. Cause like in Civil War, we thought, you know, or at least I did, it seemed like he didn't really remember anything of his time as the Winter Soldier. Cause like, you know, he was in the Vice and he was like, what did I do? Who'd I hurt? Like, tell me what happened. And then, you know, Cap was saying like, you know, none of that was under your control. You were brainwashed. Like, you know, it wasn't you doing those things. It wasn't your fault. And he's still like, but I did it. Like, but I did those things. And now we get to see that he actually has some sort of memory of those things and it's haunting him. And it's like instant pathos, like instant backstory. And it makes sense. And they've built so much foundation for that character to just immediately be like, let's open this door. Oh, look, it's all like, it's a fully furnished room.
Well, I think it's, yeah, exactly. And this thing is like, there's a lot of rich story dancing under the surface of the Winter Soldier that I want more of. I guess like that's the thing is like they opened up like this future of him making amends and this past of him being the Winter Soldier and like badass fight scenes that we could see. Like there's just so much there. And as much as so let's turn to the Falcon though, because obviously he's a big part of this show that we are not focusing on enough at all.
He's the first name.
And he is the first name. He is the legacy of Cap. And I did really enjoy, I mean, Rhodey showed up. And then like getting to see Rhodey and him have that conversation about, you know, the shield and what it means, and him turning it down. And that's the big reveal at the end of this episode is that there's a new Cap that we all want to punch his face, right? That's like a real punchable.
Oh my God,
Cap
I want to
face.
punch his face. He looks so smarmy. Like, he just, the way that he smiles and like the way like I know that the man can't fix the way his face is shaped, but like, and you know, because I can't either, and I would love to be able to change a few things, but like his face was just so punchable, and I was like, God, and the way he winks, I'm like, you're not Cap, put that down, that's not your shield. Like, it doesn't belong to you.
We're just so set up to hate him from the beginning, and it's going to be interesting going forward. This is classic storytelling. Resisting the call is like the first thing you do in like the classic story circle. You know, you resist the call, and so Falcon resisted the call, and it has led to someone else taking up the shield, and that is no good. Like we're all very upset about it, I feel like. And they didn't even have to have this new Cap do anything shitty. We just all hate him immediately.
Yeah, just right out of the gate. Because they didn't, well, rather, we don't know if the government asked Sam to be the new Cap. Like, you know, please do this for us. You know, we know that you know Cap's legacy and that you'll honor it. And we know that you know you were his best friend and you're the best person for it. Like we didn't see any of that. They might have done that, but because we didn't see any of that, we can't say that they did. And it pretty much immediately leads us to him like giving back the shield, being like, you know, it belongs in a museum in a very Indiana Jones way. But like him saying, this belongs to Cap, it's not mine, I can't take it up, and then being like, oh yeah, you did the right thing, thank you for that. Hey, white guy, here's the shield, be Cap. Like, it's real shitty. Yeah, and we're led to believe that it's really shitty. And systemic racism is such a prevalent thing in society. It feels like it's drawing on that, and I think
that will be a point they make. I hope that's a point that they make. I really do, especially as we've said, tying that to the storyline of the bank and how they talk about his father being a legend, and like these people don't even know him. You know, it's like these two communities that have been split up, and like. You don't even know how important our father was to the black community, but like you over here in the banks don't even know and won't support us.
It doesn't even matter with that though.
Yeah, he's an Avenger and he doesn't even know.
Yeah, he is. You were talking to Sam motherfucking Wilson.
Yeah.
Like this is the Falcon. You know, he helped save the world multiple times.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell are you doing?
Well, and
telling this man, no, I can't approve you for a loan?
They do
for
not.
A loan?
They do not telegraph anything racial there. Technically, with like the idea that they won't. He won't give him a bank loan. It's not because of the racial issue, but it is from a systemic point. You know, like you know, it just they have not been able to, you know, thrive as much financially. And then you got the idea that they touch on here, which is like who's paying the superheroes, and like they only have goodwill, and like I don't know. There's a lot going on there, and I'm interested to see where they're going with it, because I really thought they were going to attack this problem a little more directly, I guess, because it seems a little opaque right now. There's a lot of like pieces sort of floating around about like they haven't directly done anything with like the banker was not directly racist, or like the banker was, or like whatever, and it wasn't like a direct racial element. Like we had talked about leading up into this, we knew there was going to be this sort of alternative Captain America, and we thought it might be a little bit of racism, like he is Cap, and then they're like, no, we'll pick who's Cap. You know what I mean? Yeah. Instead, it turns out that Sam turned down the mantle, which is like it sort of like removes a little of the complication I think we were expecting from the story, and so now they've kind of infused that with some meaning going forward.
You know, I don't think that they've necessarily removed the complication of it being race driven. I think that they just haven't looked at it fully yet. I think that they haven't fully opened the door, because it would probably, and I hate to say it, but it would probably turn off a lot of the head buried in the sand white people that are just like, well, I'm not racist and I don't talk about it.
Right.
So obviously there's no racism in the world.
So that's the thing. That's the thing I'm worried about. And that's the thing I've been saying for months. There's a clip in the trailer where he says the shield, there's a lot of complicated history behind this shield.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about like maybe they would go with the comics origins of the shield, or like the comics origins of the Captain America serum, and like and talk about how the black platoon of soldiers that was experimented on and all this stuff, which they did in comics. I am worried because it's Marvel and because they keep things pretty like politically ambiguous, we'll say, generally speaking, that they're not going to go even as far as to like even open the door on the racism. Because like I said, even with the banker loved him. Banker was not like, we won't serve your community. The banker was like, oh, I absolutely love you. These financials are just not in order. You know what I mean? Like it kind of like gives the whole thing. It removes the racism from the storyline in a way that is not true to life. And that is a thing that Marvel doesn't step on those toes much, because like you said, half the country likes to bury their head in the sand and not think about it. So I kind of wish they would be a little bolder, because I don't think they are being bold yet.
I think that the black community would probably disagree with you in that there are people that are just like, I love you, Mr. Black Man. You know, you're a great football player, you're a great basketball player, you're a great celebrity, you're a great Avenger, whatever. Like, you are a great person in this thing that I love watching you do. You're a minstrel for me. And but when it comes down to like brass tacks and actually like doing business and doing, you know, good things for them, they're just like, no, but there's rules that I have to follow that are just kind of set up against you. Sorry. Oh, well, nothing I can do. I can't help you because of your status or anything like that. When we know, like, you know, any other Avenger walking through the door would probably have gotten a loan.
That is possible. I wonder, like, I guess I'm not saying there's not racism, and there's definitely systemic stuff going on. That they touch on glancingly. My point is that Marvel doesn't normally go directly at it. And I don't know that they're going to. I thought this show might be a little more directly at it because of some of the things in the trailer. And I don't know.
We also thought that Zemo was going to be there, and he wasn't there.
That's true. It definitely could get more direct in the future, and I don't know. I don't know how much it will.
It's honestly like, because of the political climate in America, it's kind of really difficult to not get into that. you know, and like it's been difficult for us to keep it out of the show, especially with with out of our show, the MCU cast, the one that
for sure,
recording on, because of like, you know, things like Black Panther and Luke Cage. Like, it's been really difficult to avoid the topic of racism in America and be an escapism podcast. But like, I kind of feel like the show is going to go down that road,
right?
At least a little bit,
right? And to be clear, we generally keep this podcast fairly apolitical, but most of that is because the content is mostly apolitical. We do other podcasts, right, and that the content, like The Boys, which is much more political, we will get more political.
Yeah,
and also we've said it in the past, but I don't think civil rights is politics. Like, there's two different things. There's discussions over like who's right about how we should spend our money. It shouldn't be. So that's why we're a little. I think we're both a little more okay talking about those things, as we have a bit in the past, but not a ton.
Right.
Anyway,
circling back.
I
think we got a new thirst target.
Oh yeah, who's that?
Yeah, I think we got a new thirst target in Torres.
Oh, yeah. I dig it. I liked Torres a lot. Just from the very beginning.
He seems like he's going to be a really great sidekick, kind of. Plucky human, or I don't want to, human's not the right word, a plucky regular guy sidekick.
Human's not wrong.
Plucky non-super soldier, non-hero, which could change because
there's apparently something going on with the serum or something.
I looked up something. This is going to be something we throw on the board. Oh no! There is a Joaquin Torres in comics, who is a sidekick of Falcon, or rather a sidekick of Sam Wilson when he becomes Captain America.
Okay.
He gets like some experimentation done on him and like grows feathery wings and stuff. And like he becomes Falcon. So he takes on the role of Falcon when Falcon becomes Cap. So we might get some of that going. Maybe he hands him the suit and like you use these wings.
Who asked if he can use the wings? So is one of his friends?
It was Carlos, one of his friends back in NOLA.
Yeah,
but like they kind of allude to it in that like when Torres walks up to him in the city and he's like, you know, hey, maybe you can. And it was in Tunisia. He was like, maybe you can try. And Sam was like, could you not? Like they were kind of they were having that quippiness over electronic talk and kind of the nerdism of like being an electronics tech, right there. So like, if he's got ideas about how the wings can work, I very much expect him to eventually get the wings and use them. Yeah.
That could, I dig it. I think that's fun.
Yep.
I definitely think Torres has potential to do more, and you're probably right that is the Torres from comics. If Falcon has a sidekick named Torres, I think that's not even a stretch.
Yeah, put it on the board.
So let's talk about the overarching like sort of villainy here that's happening with the Flag Smashers. We got two big things. Really three things. Like it sounds like during the blip, the world was more unified. That's that they said that now that everyone's back, old borders are going up. Old, like, you know what I mean? And
like the old ways are coming back.
Yeah. And
because we got everybody back, we're no longer unified.
Yeah, exactly. And so the Flag Smashers are a group that believe that things were better during the blip.
Yeah.
And it sounds like the main thing that they're talking about is the fact that borders kind of fell and the world unified over the fact that they needed to come together to like survive. Right. Which is such a, like, that's a real thing. And like, that's a good message.
Yeah.
And
that's the issue with that is that like, this is supposed to be like a terrorist organization and, the bad guys or whatever, but like their message is on point. Their message is good.
Well, here's the thing. Like that's what I'm getting at is the fact that like, put it on the board, I guess. Like, I don't think the Flag Smashers are the bad guys.
Yeah.
Like, so far, we haven't seen them do anything bad except for fight Torres, and they didn't kill him. They threw him down. I thought he, like, broke his back for a second.
Bank. They robbed a bank.
Well, yeah, but I don't know.
But banks need to be robbed.
Robbing a bank. Also, do we know, what was the bank? Do we know it was a bank?
It looked like it was a Swiss bank.
Okay, I saw the Swiss signs. I didn't see what they were robbing. Sorry.
I will perform my duties as a producer. Let me queue up Disney Plus here.
yeah. Check it out. Let us know. I thought it might be something other than a bank. I thought they might be preparing for something else or something. I don't know. It didn't. I wasn't sure what they robbed.
Gassel Bank.
Okay, it was a bank.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I already had the tab open, Scotty. Sorry.
Outproducing me already.
Producing circles around you over here, Jeff. Come on, let the guy do his thing.
He's doing great. He's handling the chat, which I cannot do.
Yeah, we can't do that and have a conversation ever.
A lot of thirst to cut through. A lot of thirst.
I feel like he's panning for gold, and like all of the thirst is the
water
that he's
yeah.
got.
Yeah. I apologize that me and Jeff are both cisgendered males, and we don't have thirst for these characters. I know that is a lot of what people are looking for in a discussion about this show.
I can appropriate the thirst really easily. Like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure people have wondered about me, about my sexuality, with as much as I've been like, that's a man right there.
Yeah,
That's what a man looks like.
I'm with you. The very attractive gentleman.
Yeah. He is a gentleman. He brought her roses.
Right.
That's so sweet.
Right. I was getting at the fact that I think the Flag Smashers, they may be doing some low-level crime, but I bet their goal might be an overall, maybe not good. They might not be good guys. I'm not saying that, but I think that something to do with like the fact that Cap showed up in the last scene and that they said, the world has heroes, but America needs heroes again. It felt like a very like America. We're putting our borders back up. And we're gonna be.
This is building a wall.
Yeah, this is sure. If we want to go the political route, it's a very America first message.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem, I guess. Is like, Steve Rogers was a Captain America for the world. He was leading the charge, but he was protecting the world, and that's how he felt about it. But then this guy, this corporate Captain America, feels very. And this is how U.S. Agent was, and whatnot in the comics. Like, it's very, it's very America first. I have to protect America, at the detriment of anybody else from anywhere. So, and I hate to bring up the politics again, but like that's part of the racism, and I feel like Torres
early xenophobia,
it's a lot of xenophobia. But Torres being in the comics, he's from Mexico and immigrated to Arizona, if I'm not mistaken. I kind of feel like him being Falcon is maybe going to put some people off of like, why can't there be a white guy that's one of these heroes? But like, there's already so many white guy heroes. I mean, anyway. Let's circle back away from the politics. Escapism. Come on.
Well, I think it's okay to talk about the fact that like it's okay to talk about things that are brought up in the episode, which is like what we do here, which is the idea that it seems like the Flag Smashers, the only goal we know about is that they want to bring the world together in a sense of like, the world being unified, and. Literally, our Captain America at the end of the episode they state he's like not for the world, he's for America, and it's like I just see that as like that tension is going to be interesting because I don't think that's going to be I don't think Captain America, this new Captain America, is going to be on the good side, and the Flag Smashers are going to be wholly on the wrong side.
Yeah, it's definitely shades of gray.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely going to be shades of gray to it because it's going to be like our Falcon and Winter Soldier, our Buckbeak combo, as we've been calling them. They're going to be, against the Flag Smashers because it's like you got a good message, but you're doing it the wrong way. And then they're going to be against this corporate Cap and, what a dollar. I think I spotted in the chat Dollar General Captain America, but like they're going to be against him because, he's not doing the right thing for Cap, but then like those two are going to be against each other, and they're going to be like, you guys have a good message, but you're doing it the wrong way. You guys have a good message, you're doing it the wrong way. Like, let's just all do things the right way, and they're going to have to fight. It's going to be a 3-direction fight, a fight triangle, if you will, a hate triangle. No, because you usually a love triangle, but it's a fight triangle.
Right, a hate triangle. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm interested to see what happens with the Flag Smashers, and like, I don't know, from my perspective, unifying the world and all the countries helping each other is a good thing, for the most part.
Like, geopolitical borders are fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, like, that's a complicated issue, but like, yeah, at least to the point that like we look across a border and acknowledge the humanity in other people and try to do things that are good for everyone, not just people in our own borders. So in that respect, I agree with you. I don't know, you took a very extreme stance, and I had to be like, okay, I guess, sure, no borders. I don't know if I can completely go with no borders, but like that is a weird and very complicated issue. Let's not go there.
That is an argument that we are not properly equipped to have.
We talk about the politics that are brought up in the show. Well, I guess that is kind of brought up in the show. It's not completely not there.
Yeah.
Flag smashers, Yep. we're gonna see what, like, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting.
We got another Civil War situation of like, are you Team Cap or Team Tony? No, it's Team. It could be Team Cap and Team Flag Smashers.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna go that heroic with the Flag Smashers, where we'll be able to choose their side, but maybe, I don't know. We'll see. We will see.
Maybe. I love that there's an actual like solid message that they're going with, and that it's something that, just like at face value, much, on paper, like communism sounds great, but like in practice, much like communism, maybe not the best, but
right.
It's that sort of thing where like it's a good message, but like Killmonger in Black Panther was exactly the same. He had a great message to help people, but he just went about it the wrong way.
Right. For a second, I got confused and thought you meant Kilgrave. That's who I saw when you said Killmonger. And I was like, what are you talking about?
No. Like Killmonger won the moral argument.
Right.
But, he was doing the wrong thing. So I kind of feel like they're winning the moral argument, just based on the one thing that we know about them at this point. Like, they're winning the moral argument, but maybe they're going about it the wrong way. So I like that there's nuance to it. I like that there's nuance to these organizations.
That's what I enjoy most when politics is nuanced in shows, and not just like, well, these are the things that we agree with, so we're just going to make the show all about this. I like when they actually like bring up these political things and have discussions about the gray areas, and that seems like what this might be. Because, like you said, destroying all borders, maybe not, but like reaching across your border and seeing your fellow man as a human that deserves life and liberty, like maybe so,
yeah.
And aid possibly. Like, well, we'll see. We'll see where they go with that. Okay. I say it's about time we turn towards the chat. You got anything else you want to touch on before we get there?
I wonder, and this is a discussion that my wife and I had after watching it. I wonder if Torres is maybe thinking about joining the Flag Smashers, because the way that he brought it up to Sam was kind of like testing the water, seeing if my friend likes the idea of like, they say that they're looking, or they want a world unified without borders. And, he like kind of sneaks it in there of like, what do you think about that? And
I hear where you're going with that. I don't think we're there yet. I have a feeling he is genuinely just investigating them.
Yeah, I do too.
But
that's how I feel about it, is that like he's
end up there.
investigating it. But after watching it a second time, I was just like, ooh, that would be intriguing, though, to like have Sam have this friend who like gets into the organization because he believes in the message, and like kind of has to be brought back from it.
Yeah, no, I
like
absolutely
that.
think that could happen. I don't think he's there yet. I think he seems to actually just be investigating them. But like maybe as we learn more, I could absolutely see even Falcon like being pulled to that side, especially if we find out that the Captain America or whoever they're setting up with Captain America ends up being like, dirty in some way or corrupt.
Right. Yeah.
Like in the Flag Smashers, if there's a fight between the Flag Smashers and Captain America, I can absolutely see Sam Wilson at some point choosing the side of the Flag Smashers to protect them if Captain America is doing things that they shouldn't be,
Right.
or his team or whoever's on that side of things. Do you think Captain America has powers? Did they perfect the serum?
I don't know. I don't think so, but it could very easily be something like what Blonsky got in The Incredible Hulk, to where he's a little bit enhanced, but not quite to the level that Cap was.
He was pretty dang enhanced in that movie.
He was
So good.
I mean, the first injection, not the second one.
Yeah. Well, he was still enhanced, but a little different.
Yeah.
A little darker. But also, it seems like the Flag Smashers have some sort of super strength. At least
they do. There's that
at least
guy
that one.
That guy's a super dude. Are we like what is he? What are we putting on the board, Matt? What are we doing?
Probably
is he a Winter
he's
Soldier?
Probably one of the big three.
Man, yeah.
We still didn't get that scene. We can get Falcon Winter Soldier meeting yet, which I find crazy. I'm very bummed about it. I want.
No, you know what? I like it. There's the thing. They had their own lives, and they're living them separately. Like, of course, they're not living together. We saw them in Civil War. Like, I hate you. Just really like jabbing at each other. Like, can you move the seat up?
I didn't expect them to be roommates, Jeff. I'm just saying it's they got bunk beds and they're just like
right. Yeah, they share a room. It's like Step Brothers, except them.
I was just kind of expecting by the end of the first episode they might like encounter each other.
I like though that Bucky was, when he was talking to his therapist, she was like, "You're ignoring the text from Sam." Mm-hmm. Like, we know that Sam is trying to reach out to him, so like, they're trying, or Sam at least is trying to have some sort of interaction and connection with him, but it's all on Bucky and him retracting into his own little world and that personal hell that he's having to live through. Like, it's such great. There's so much gritty emotion to it. Like, if they just went with like, oh yeah, they're friends, they meet on Thursdays, like it might have felt contrived.
For sure.
I like how they're doing it.
I will say, especially with the slow burn aspect of that, this feels so much like the Defender series to me.
It does.
Like the very first episode just feels so much like a Netflix Marvel show, which is amazing.
Way higher production value.
Yes, the Netflix Marvel show. Well, at a certain point, I feel like it felt a lot like a Netflix Marvel show after the first 15 minutes. Like the first 15 minutes were like, let's show a huge spectacle. And then everything after that was pretty contained. So I don't know. Before we get to the chat, we're going to take a short break. We'll be back with lots of live feedback right after this ad we have no control over. And we're back. Nice, Jay Scott. You got that low tone. Let's bring Jay Scotty in. How you doing, buddy?
Doing fantastic.
How's everything in the chat?
It's been quite a lively chat. It's been interesting. I tried to participate in as many of the WandaVision live streams as possible. So it's just interesting seeing the difference between these shows, what kind of different conversation and theorizing it's already encouraging. Really interesting to see the difference there.
Sweet. I can't wait to hear what people are saying. What you got?
Well, yeah, right off the bat, we'll start off with El Dimshar. We talked about that bombastic opening action sequence. He said, "Wing Shield is something I never knew I needed until they gave us Wing Shield."
Yes. Oh my God. The way that the wings came together looked like it had the shape of the old Cap shield, except it was like full body. And like, I freaking loved it. I loved that they did that. It looked so cool.
Yeah. The wings are awesome.
And he's got experience with a shield. So
that's true. Yeah. I wondered if like there's an AI thing happening there, or if that's all him making those movements, because like that's kind of faster than a bullet, you know. They did talk about having Stark tech mixed in with his suit, so I wondered if some of that was like his wings are extra protective. His wings are his version of Doctor Strange's cloak, you know. They're like doing their own thing, like flipping down when he needs them.
It'd be cool if we could get like Red Wing to have some like audio capability, so it would almost kind of be like that telepathy that Falcon had with Red Wing in the comics. They could kind of almost recreate that and have like a new version of Friday or Jarvis for us as well.
Ooh,
yeah. But the audio component that I would love to have for Red Wing, especially with him being a little AI drone, so to speak, I would love to have like almost like an R2D2 aspect. Where he just does the beeps.
That'd be cool.
But a little more bird-like.
You know, yeah, right. Exactly. Like R2D2, but a little more bird-like.
Yeah,
and, like,
I would love that. I would love if he like landed on his like coot as he lands on his back or whatever. Like that'd be so good.
Or like when he's like, Red Wing, get him off our ass, and then Red Wing does the thing, and he's like, good job, buddy. And
yeah, exactly.
Lands on his back.
Dude, like
little happy beeps.
I'm sorry, they're leaving money on the table. He could be the new Baby Yoda,
right?
Right? He's the new Baby Yoda. Is Red Wing.
Red Wing is the new Baby Yoda.
Start the marketing campaign right now.
Let's start some memes.
Put it on the board.
We need some memes that are like, you know, Baby Yoda, Baby Groot, or Red Wing. Who you choosing? Who you choosing?
Yeah, like get that poll going.
I like it.
Oh man. Also, let me see about Red Wing. It's MVP, right? Like
MVP.
He has a higher kill count than anyone on the show at this point. Right? Like Red Wing is currently like in the lead for most kills. That's crazy.
You know, I like, thinking back on it, I like that you bring up Baby Yoda, because there was that one shot that felt very Mandalorian, in that Sam flew under the helicopter, like turned around and shot the guy with the cable and yanked him out of the chopper, and then just like cut the cord, and I'm like, that guy's fucking dead.
Right? There was a lot of death in that first scene, and and Red Wing did most of it. That's crazy. He took out 2 helicopters, two of the helicopters by himself.
Yep, by himself.
Get it, Red Wing.
Get it, Red Wing. Yeah.
All right. Well, transitioning to something a little more poignant here. A couple people called this out, but I noticed Haley Hobbs, first and foremost, she said, Bucky sleeping on the floor is a total callback to Winter Soldier when Cap and Sam are talking about their beds feeling like marshmallows. And that's such a good call out.
Yeah.
It's going to sink right through to the floor. Oh, God.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the deep, hot, wet continuity. Woo!
Batroc the Leaper,
right.
That's another thing from the Winter Soldier that has just followed through into this.
I was saying how much this felt like the Winter Soldier, and there was the music and the title opening and all this stuff felt very much like the Winter Soldier. And also, Batroc is the first fight.
It starts with our titular hero in an aircraft diving out without a parachute.
Doing a mission to stop Batroc the Leaper. Like it was
doing a mission to stop Batroc. Oh my God. We got there. We got there, guys.
Also, when Muzzy said it, I think, during the live watch, as Batroc leapt out of the helicopter as it exploded, he's like, he lives to leap again.
He lives to leap another day. Yep.
Which is great because, like, so many of the heroes throughout the Marvel stuff die in their first appearance or their second appearance. Sorry.
You said heroes.
I did say heroes. I'm sorry. I just revealed how I feel about all these movies.
Yeah, you really did. It's been Matt all along.
It's been Matt all along.
We've got a little bit of feedback that's a little more critical, not super critical, but Jake came in saying that he felt the episode was a little predictable. He and his mate guessed the Winter Soldier twist almost immediately, but overall it was great action throughout, and it's awesome to see these characters be fleshed out. Looking forward to seeing them finally meet up. So
He got me beat because I did not. I was so thick on that Winter Soldier twist reveal. I was so thick, and not in like a thought way, but like a brain way.
Dense.
I was dense, brain. Right? Dense. Dense is a better word for it.
I know if I'm Sam, my first words to Bucky are going to be like, hey, why'd you leave me on red, man? Not cool.
Yeah, right? Jerk.
When the doctor checked his phone and saw that Sam had been texting him and he never responded.
Yep.
Well, speaking of the doctor, we got Muzzy, Nathaniel Muzzy coming in saying he wonders if the doctor could end up being a riff on Faustus from the comics.
Ooh,
I saw somebody mention
Faustus.
that. The doctor. I don't know anything about Faustus.
I don't remember much of anything about the doctor. Like, hell, I didn't even know about Torres until I was like, I feel like there's probably something there, and like gave it a quick goog, and I was like, oh shit, I have to read all these comics now. Like, good thing we got Marvel Unlimited.
I'm just gonna say it sounds too much like Mephisto to believe.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know anything about Faustus either, but Faust is there, and I think
Put it on the board.
Mephistus confirmed.
Put it on the board. Oh wait, Faustus. There was something in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with Faustus, right? Finoff?
I don't know.
It was Agent Carter? I think it was Agent Carter.
Oh, yeah. Dude, that does sound vaguely familiar, but I don't know. I don't remember. Okay.
Yeah.
What else you got, Jay Scotty?
Yeah.
All right, moving on here. Nathaniel Muzzy again. I noticed he pointed this out in the live watch, but great catch with the Uncle Sam double meaning.
Mm-hmm. He's Uncle Sam.
Yep.
Good to see him get a little FaceTime with the family there, too.
Yeah, for sure.
Haley Hobbs coming back in with, do we think Bucky's denying he's having nightmares because they're actually memories? Oof.
Yeah.
I think that was confirmed with...
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yori's son.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things that, like, when you feel isolated and when you feel like you're dealing with something that somebody else would just completely not understand and you can't trust them to understand it, you just clam up. And, you know, he's dealing with that immense weight of all of the shit that he's done. He just doesn't want to talk about it. He's like, I'd rather just drink myself to sleep on the floor than talk about it with somebody. And like, I get it. You know, it's rough. I mean, you know, I haven't been like a cryogenically frozen soldier throughout time before, but like, you know, we've all dealt with with rough things and not wanting to talk to anybody about it. But like, you got government mandated help, man. Accept it.
Yeah, it's that. I mean, and it's the era he comes from too. Like we're a little more accepting of help these days, but still not enough. There's still a stigma around like accepting mental like therapy or whatever.
Yeah.
Really, any
I'm
help.
too strong for that.
Yeah. But he definitely should open up. Unless we find out she's Faustus, I guess.
Yeah, and then
he was just doing the right thing there. Good job.
Yeah.
Well, I love the little catch that he struck up a friendship with Yori, and you know, initially my assumption was, you know, this was an old person that he could relate with just based on war experience and whatnot. But there was that subtle little line where Yori says, "All right, we can go to lunch, but no talking." And like it's just kind of nice to see sometimes just to have another person there, even though he's obviously got all this baggage, you know, just having that human connection.
Yeah,
just having somebody to sit beside.
It's also the kind of person that he is. Like we talked about it earlier, he's had very few lines in all the movies. He probably talked more in this than ever. And so like that's the kind of person he would connect to. Not only are they like from his time and have the same interests, but also like kind of the quiet type that isn't going to be too bothersome with all this chitter chatter.
Yeah. Yep. And God, just I feel like I understand how Yori and Bucky feel in that moment of like, you know, I just want to sit beside somebody just to know that I'm sitting beside somebody. Because like this whole pandemic and the isolation from it is like, I mean, like you posted on Facebook, hey, remember hugs?
Yeah.
You remember what it's been like or what it's like to like touch another person? Like, holy crap.
Yeah. It's been a long time.
It's a rough time. And like, that's all I want is to like go to a restaurant and sit down next to, you know, all of my friends and if only, right?
Soon.
Yeah. This is a good opportunity. I know I've seen R. Breeze Rob in the chat. He's kind of been hitting me with a lot of late feedback. So it's been kind of tough to pilfer through all of that, but I'll go ahead and hit one of his. He says, I love how the MCU is starting to take and take and make mental issues normal to talk about. When the therapist told him it's easy to shut down and hard to get out of it. As a vet, I've shut down before in communities like this, and friends and family help. So I love that about this episode. Yeah, really good to get that perspective.
Excellent.
Absolutely. Thanks, Rob.
I'm glad that we've got that vet perspective on it, because, not being a vet, I feel like I'm speaking for them in that, like, yeah, it's great to have that representation, but like, I kind of feel a little bit vindicated in that, that I do have somebody that's just like, yes, it is nice to talk about, because like, trauma from being a veteran is a really big thing. I mean, we saw it in the Punisher series. It's a huge deal. And I'm glad that, I mean, hell, like, oh man, think about it. Like, WandaVision, the big bad of WandaVision was grief. And then in this, it looks like trauma of some sort, or like troubled past. I don't know what to call it, but like that kind of trauma is seeming to be the demon of at least half of our hero. And
loneliness. And there's a lot of things that he's dealing with. That's the thing. I think that's why I connected so much with Bucky in this episode, is there's a lot going on internally. And not that nothing's going on internally with Falcon. There's definitely a lot with him dealing with like resisting the shield and everything, but like most of his problems, both with his family and with the world, were very external, like things he's fighting, things he's trying to solve. But like Bucky just has so much that he's like that they've just piled on him mentally that we're watching him go through.
I just thought about this. So Sam was talking about, like, with his sister Sarah, you're not gonna sell our family's legacy. Like, the business with the boat and the fishing, whatnot, like that's his family legacy. He doesn't take up the shield because it's a legacy. There's a legacy tied to it that he doesn't feel worthy of. And then Bucky is worried about the legacy that he's leaving behind of all of the death and destruction in his wake and all of the bad people he set up. Like, the show is about what legacy you're leaving behind and what you as a hero leave behind. I love it.
I like that. I also think with the drawing that comparison with Falcon, I also think it's about his identity, possibly, as a person, because like, you're right. He resists the shield. He doesn't want that legacy because he doesn't feel like he can live up to it. But he's fighting for his parents' legacy, which means like it's about the legacy he's choosing to live up to. It's not so much the legacy he's leaving, but the legacy he's choosing to embrace and become part of. He, at this point, either because he doesn't feel worthy of it or whatever, he's like going back to his roots, and he's like, no, this is who I'm meant to be. You know what I mean? Like, I'm meant to be a part of this, like this family legacy that I've grown up in. And like, yes, I'm an Avenger, but like, I it's almost like I plan to be on this boat one day, though, right? Like, I'm going to hold on to this boat in this house, because that's the.
You can't be an Avenger forever. I'm going to fall back to this
boat.
boat.
And that's the future I see for myself. But he can't see himself as Captain America yet. And so what is that saying?
God, the show is so damn deep.
There's a lot going on already. And I think with 5 freaking more episodes of this, and if they're all this long, that's so much. It's just so much content. I'm so excited.
Likewise.
Anything else from the chat, Jay Scotty?
Well, we got Katie Rose Button had quite a few good comments, but I'd be remiss if I did not give her credit for Dollar General America.
Thank you, Katie Rose.
Yes.
Oh, I said I would check before we finished see if anybody's sending a thirst voicemail.
A thirst mail, if you will.
Yeah.
I think Katie Rose Button in the chat has been like kind of the conductor of the
thirst train. The thirst train conductor.
Yep.
I dig it.
While you're pulling up that voicemail, I did want to, while we're on the subject of new Cap, I did want to point out Nathaniel, I believe it's Molinar, his comment here. Yeah, we have no reason to dislike this new Cap. Maybe dislike the people that gave him the shield, I'm thinking they should set him up to be a good guy who's just doing the job he was given. Maybe at the end, Walker will give the shield to Sam.
I like that.
I
always like the shades of gray. I am feeling right now like they're setting us up for this sort of like, I mean, they're clearly setting us up to dislike this guy, even though, I said the same thing, Nathaniel. Like, we have no reason to dislike him at all. But I felt like that as soon as I saw.
He's got that punchable face.
He's got that punchable face, and we all just want Sam to be Cap. But I think this show is going to be about him taking on the legacy of Cap and becoming Captain America. I think.
Well, I think there's another question in there of if he takes on the mantle of Captain America, does he lose his identity as himself? He's had this identity built up as Falcon, and that's his hero persona. Does he want to be known as Captain America? Because knowing how Americans are, or just knowing how people are and how much people suck, they would just call him, "Hey, look, it's Black Captain America," instead of it being that's Captain America. It's the same way when Jane Foster took up the mantle of Thor in the comics. They're everybody tried to call her Lady Thor, female Thor, whatever. No, that's the mighty Thor.
Right. I think you're definitely you're hitting on some definitely interesting points, but I do think there's something they're playing with something with, like I said, with his identity and what does taking up the shield mean when he's a poor fisherman's son from New Orleans. What does it mean for him to ascend to Captain America? And what parts of his identity does he lose? And what parts of his identity does he hold on to? And how can he do both? And things like that. I think they're going to play with those ideas. And I like that a lot. I think it's really interesting. It's just interesting character stuff that they're definitely setting up.
All right. Just the last few comments here, just given the political nature of the show, we got a few politically charged comments I'll kind of couple together here. Melissa said, she put it in the Facebook chat, but Marvel is really leaning into making us hate government agencies in phase 4. And then Nathaniel Muzzy again, he said he has to disagree with Matt about the show not being racial. The loan officer, or maybe this particular part of the show not being racial, the loan officer thinks that he knows Sam from football. That's subtle but direct racism.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. I did not catch that at all. Yeah, good call. Totally good call. Yeah.
Get your head out of the sand, Matt.
Sorry, I missed that. I just thought of it as celebrity. I don't watch sports, okay?
Yeah, same.
I guess that means it's time to move on. On a lighter note here, Waterfall Angel Sharon is hitting us with Bucky talking about online dating. I just picture him getting drunk one night and it being explicitive. Let's check this out.
Yeah, I like it.
That's funny.
I guess it's about wrap. That's about a wrap, guys. Thank you, Jay Scotty, for keeping an eye on the chat. If you guys want to join us for the live watches and the live chats every Friday morning during Falcon and Winter Soldier, we're going to be doing these live watches. We do 8 a.m. We watch it on Scener, so everybody can watch together, and we have a live chat. So that's scener.com/strandedpanda. I'll put these links in the show notes, and then we do a live podcast on Twitch, which is how you can participate in the live discussion while we do this. And then I edit it all down. It goes up audio and video, generally the same day. So we'll be doing this every Friday, and every Monday we'll be doing a feedback and discussion cast as well. So much stuff to follow along, and we generally do that at 7 p.m. on Mondays on Twitch, but sometimes we do daytimes if certain things are afoot.
Basically, if you can get me to break in the middle of my workday.
That, and if I'm in Dallas or not. Because generally, if I'm in Dallas, I try to reserve my evenings to hang out with Alyssa. Jay Scotty, thank you for your first time producing. You're the best.
Thank you, Jay Scotty.
Thank you.
Is there anything that you're working on that you want to plug?
Well, you can always follow me at Jay Scotty for real, just like you see here in the Twitch stream. And then I've actually got a show in the works called Animation Deliberation. Myself and fellow Panda Zuhair have been tackling Young Justice. So I know this is Marvel, but
Ooh,
I know we got
Justice
some
is a
people
good
that got
one.
exactly. Yeah, Young Justice is some of the finest animated content and finest comic book material I've ever had the opportunity to watch and cover. So we will be launching the rollout of that here shortly. So stay tuned to Stranded Panda and myself for all that wonderful stuff. And again, thank you guys for having me on. It's a really exciting opportunity to officially participate in one of my favorite podcasts for the first time. So
Thanks, brother. That's very kind of you.
Get
Very, very
your
kind of you.
lips off my ass, Chase.
All right. And on that note, peace.
Until next time, true believers.
Thank you for joining us for the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast. Available everywhere you get podcasts, and now a video version streaming live on twitch.tv/strandedpandatv and available at youtube.com/strandedpanda. And if you'd like to learn more about all of our other podcasts, geeky projects, and ways to support the network, visit strandedpanda.com.